Hi, everyone, and welcome to the 12 p.m. R9 Tech Bits mini-series. My name is April Frost, and today we're going to be learning more about Google Forms. This is part 2. And so let's just go ahead and get through the Bitmoji presentation and kind of learn what TechBits is all about, and then we can get started. So welcome to TechBits, everybody. My name is April Frost. Some of the outcomes that we have planned out for today are just to become more and more familiar with Google Suites and other technology resources, identify ways of utilizing those tools at work and at home and in the classroom as well, and set up those new tools and make sure that we can practice and play together. So some TechBit norms. Everybody participate. You can always choose to pass. Be an active listener. Be open and honest. Don't be afraid to take those risks. And just be sure to try to find connections among each other. We all come from different places. It's nice to share different ideas. So I have a couple of resource videos for today, short tutorial videos, how to view responses in Google Forms. And then there's 5 Google Form tips that I thought were pretty cool. So you might want to check out those videos. And then I always have my contact information and the website in case you need any additional information. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started, shall we? So the last time that we left each other, we were kind of playing around with Google Forms. I'm going to go ahead and open up. And we talked as a group. We know how to open up a Google form. We know how to start a Google form. And get it up and going and enter questions. We feel pretty comfortable there, correct?
Well, I missed that session, but I'll go back and watch it.
Okay, that's okay. I believe you've worked with forms before, so Toby,
A little
bit, yeah. So we're just going to kind of dive a little bit more in. And play a little bit more. And today I wanted to focus on, so last time we focused on kind of changing the titles, what were some new features that were added in to each of these question areas. But today I'd kind of like to just kind of go over our summary, our responses. How do we view our responses? What options are available to us? And how can we utilize these tools that are in Google Forms in our everyday work? So I have a couple of ideas about that moving forward, but let's just kind of learn the overall, let's navigate the form really quickly. So here you have your title, and right under here in the center area, you have questions, responses, and settings. Now, these are 3 little toggles that you can utilize. So right now we're in the questions of the form, and I'm in edit mode. You notice up here on the URL, I'm in edit mode. So I am currently editing this form and building it. So questions are here. My responses would be my next toggle over. Of course, I don't have any responses at this point because it's not a live form. And then you have your settings. So we want to make sure that we kind of cruise these different areas because that's where these are key areas that we're going to find places to look at our responses, to see our responses, and also to modify any settings if needs be. Okay. Any questions so far? Nope. Everybody's quiet today. That's okay. We'll go ahead and get going. Okay. So do we want to add any more? Let's add another question down here, maybe. Beefing up my form a little bit. Let's add another question. And I want to slide it down below my name. Jeez. I have too many controls going. Never mind with Zoom controls in the way. All right, so
April, I found it was easier to move things up than move things down. So grab last name at those 6 little dots. It might go up.
Oh, I see. Ooh, thank you.
I don't know why it works that way easier.
No, but you're right. I mean, think think outside of the box, Lisa. Way to go. Okay, so what is your favorite food to eat? I don't know. We're just going to ask a question. And then I want to provide us a short answer. It's required. Okay. Is everybody okay with the form? I'm really not okay with it because I really don't like the color scheme. But other than that, I think I'm okay with it. I'm going to jump over to preview. If I put this in the chat, will you guys just fill out the form really quickly? Hi, no video for me today, thanks. Hey, Susan, thanks for being here. So I've just added the form to fill out in chat, and I just wanted to get everybody's response on those questions so we can kind of look at our responses and play with those a little bit. So if you can just take a moment to populate that, I'd appreciate it. And let me know if you're having any issues.
April, it's saying we need permission.
Okay. Well, darn it. Let me fix that for you. Let me jump over here first.
April, I think under the pre-filled link might work for you.
Pre-filled link. Where are you talking? I'm sorry.
Again.
Right here.
Yes. And then put that in the chat.
Sorry, I grabbed the wrong one. You know, I've been doing that lately. I did that in some other area as well. Here you go. Sorry. Okay. Thank you, Lisa. Again.
I
good
hope I'm
teamwork.
right.
No,
I
you're
hope I'm
right. You're right. You're right. Okay, so I see one response in there. So thank you. Anybody else fill it out? Can I maybe get two? Okay. So, okay, so thank you, Toby and Cindy. So let's kind of discover what the responses look like and how we can better utilize them. So what's nice about Google Forms is somebody filled out the form, we get our information right away. Now, of course, there's three little toggles here on your top area, and there's a summary, a question, and an individual. And of course, those are the different types of views that you can quickly flip to in your Google response form, or in the form, sorry, and see things in a different way. So, you know, and it's kind of grab, you know, insight of what it, and give you some different types of charts and different visuals that you can utilize. What's nice about this is I can grab these also for if I wanted to utilize them in a PowerPoint presentation. I can grab these visuals and scores really quickly and copy and paste them. So that kind of works out really well. If I go to up here again and I go to questions, this breaks it down by question. Okay. And again, if I turn this into, I have a choice to turn this into a quiz and give it a point or rubrics or grading system. And I can also add feedback right away to my students for their response. So if I needed to redirect them or tell them to kind of go back and review the subject a little bit more, then I can communicate on each question. Did everybody know that part about Google Forms, about the add feedback? Because that was kind of new to me. And then of course I can toggle and change my questions at the top and then look at everybody's response. Watermelon and candy, who said watermelon?
I did. That was just the first thing that popped in my head, but I do like it.
I like that. And candy. What kind of candy, Cindy?
Anything chocolate.
Anything chocolate? Okay. Chocolate is good. So we can kind of view with this, view your classrooms or your participants' responses in different ways, right? To break up the information. And kind of the third way, so here's where settings comes into play a little bit more. So I can actually make this a quiz or not make this a quiz, okay? And if I make this a quiz, then it's going to turn all those added additional features on for the grading rubrics and feedback and all of those neat features, additional features. So it kind of depends on what kind of form or data you're collecting and what you need it. What you need your answers for. You know, what are the end result? So there's all these sorts of defaults and settings that you can turn on your lock mode, you know, missed questions, correct answers, point values, all of these things come into play if you have it set up as a quiz. You can also make, you can also kind of how you collect responses and how those responses are sent can also be directed, which is nice. And then also there's a place here for if you wanted to change it into a sort of presentation. So there's a lot of nice new features that are here to utilize in Google Sheets and in the response view area. So make sure that you check it out and play with it. Now you're saying, yes, I'm sorry, go ahead, Lisa.
I was just going to say, and you will find out quickly, I worked with high school students, when you have the wrong setting, whether you're
Right.
giving the kids the answers for the next period, whether a question you thought should have points, you forgot to add the points. So the kids will help you find your mistakes very quickly, and it's not too hard to fix.
Right, you can you can fix it like that, which is nice. That's too funny. Well, you know, it does. It takes everybody, doesn't it? There's a lot of moving parts. So I'm glad the kids are helping. So the other thing is, if you notice here, you see the Google Sheets icon. And this is what we're going to click on to create or go to the sheet where all of our data is going to be housed. So there's a couple of ways to look at your information that you're collecting in forms. You can kind of choose to view them as questions or by responses or by individual questions if you need to, just depending on what you're trying to accomplish. And then you can also jump over here and create a new spreadsheet. And this spreadsheet, so anytime that this form is populates new data, it gets pulled over into your spreadsheet. Now, the nice thing about this is I can create a new spreadsheet at this point, or I can select an existing spreadsheet. So if I'd like to tie it into an already existing spreadsheet and just keep collecting that information or data, I can also do that at this point as well. I'm going to go ahead and just say create a new spreadsheet. And then here we can see it in a CSV or an Excel or in a sheet format. So it's really nice. And now everything that we talked about before, conditional formatting, you know, all of those different areas that we've learned how to manipulate and filter our data. This is kind of the area where we could enhance some of those things. Any questions so far? Oops, I see a chat. I'm sorry if I didn't check that earlier. So,
Oh, in April,
yes, ma'am.
what I found was helpful, like when first period I gave out the Google form, I created a new spreadsheet, but that's why I would use the add to existing spreadsheet when I gave the same assignment to second, third, fourth, fifth period. And then I would just change the name on the page at the bottom. And if kids did something at a different time, I could, move their information to the right class period.
Oh, that's a good idea. I like that. So did that,
It-
and you felt like that worked really well?
There was a lot of data, like when we were remote, it was a lot of data to try to keep track of because the kids could do the assignment, at their pleasure. But I had to put it in the grade book based on period.
Okay.
And so that's the only time I found to use existing spreadsheet was when I was giving the same assignment to different periods.
To different periods. Okay. And the other ones you were able just to kind of go through these two, the questions and responses and stay in that world for the most part.
I use the spreadsheet quite a bit, and
Okay.
by second or third period, you have the settings fixed to be the right thing.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. Does anybody, this is kind of what I just wanted to talk to you guys about today, was just to simply show you open up a form and how to view your responses. And so right here, we're populating our questions. 2, we're looking at our responses in a summary, question, or individual format. And then again, you can adjust your settings as well. But, and then you can also view in sheets, which we talked about. So what's nice about it, it's all connected in a nice, neat package, and is very user-friendly for your students or coworkers to utilize Google Forms. So any questions?
Well, I have a question, but I don't want to waste everybody else's time because I don't think it's really relevant, but.
Okay, do you want me to go ahead and stop share or stop recording
Well,
and then?
So my question is, I
Okay.
have used the form and the spreadsheet, the response on spreadsheet for Child Find. However, I used the one that was already set up and I just, updated last year, made copies and updated. Actually, I didn't do it. I had to have help with that. So I'm
That's okay.
wondering if Forms has changed enough that it might be worth my time to go in and just set it up again, or can I just still continue to use what I've been using?
Well, I mean, so do you need to change any of the content or the overall questions of the form or structure, or?
No, I would want to use the same questions and I would want it to be the same.
Same questions, you like
Mhm.
the way it's collecting and flowing, so it doesn't need to be revised or revisited.
No, I just wondered, like if you're using an older version, does it update? Like if there's new features on here that weren't on the one that was originally set up, will my form still have the new feature?
I've heard of that happening, but I heard of it I don't know if it's in Forms or in Sites. And Lisa, I don't know if you can speak to this as well. But I think you should be able just to copy the old form,
Okay,
right? Make a new copy, and then those features should be in there. Lisa, do you feel like that's not accurate?
No, I would do exactly what you said, was just open
Yeah.
up the old form and see if it's doing what you want it to do. Otherwise, copy and paste the questions onto a new Google form to get the
Yeah.
new features.
okay. Thank you.
On other
I would
Google
yeah. Go
Docs,
ahead.
you can just make a copy, like if you're on Slides or if you're on other Google apps, you can, or whatever you want to call it, programs, you can just like make a copy. Could you make a copy of what we just made today? Can you like make a
When you
copy,
say
but version 2, like up at the top under,
okay, so like oh shoot, I didn't mean to do that.
oh,
The form we were on today, though, is the newest Google form. She'd have to pull up like a Google form from 2 years ago if you have one, April.
I mean, just like make a copy of it, like you want a different version of it, so you make a copy of it. Like sometimes that would happen online with students who there's a form and they move stuff around and fill it out. So I want to make a copy just for this one specific student. so I can know the work that they did versus. I guess that's not really in forms, because forms you're gathering all the responses, but
No, I'd rather, I mean, okay, I don't know if I'm completely understanding. You can make a copy of this form,
Yeah.
right?
yeah.
But you want to make a copy specifically for a student to fill out.
Oh, I'm saying I've done that in other, but I was thinking about the example that I think Toby was giving where she wanted to make a copy,
Okay.
some form that she was using already in forms, right?
Right.
You have forms?
So I think Toby's using an older like when she first started using the forms, what I'm understanding from Toby is when Sharni was doing it, she was still using a Google form though, right? Toby?
Yes, that's correct. It's
just an
but it may
older
be 3
version.
or 4 years old. I'm not really sure. So
Yeah, I think you should just be able to go over here and make a copy, and then I would start poking around to see if you see, the same sort of options. Does that make sense? And
yes,
if
thank
you
you.
want to, and I can totally, we can share your screen and we can do that right now if you want to pull up that form and we can play with it. It's totally up to you.
I'd have to find it.
I get you. But that would be a good practice, like real life thing.
Hmm.
If you feel up to it, Toby.
No, I'm looking for it.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and make you co-host. Now maybe we can kind of play with some real information.
Well, the only thing about it, it's got kids' names on it. So
Oh, you know what? Let's stop. Well, yeah, we can't do that.
let me
That's
look at
right.
them because I think let me look at the form. Yeah, the form won't have names because all I have transported to. Okay. Now let me get back to you and I'll share my screen.
Sorry about that, Toby. I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
No, it's okay. Host disabled participant screening. Let's see.
Well, my goodness. Hold on. I made you a co-host, I believe.
Not yet.
No. There. That's a little bit slow. I apologize. No?
There we go.
Okay. There's a little bit of a lag.
So can you see it?
I can see it. Okay, yeah. So Google Forms, great. Yeah, let's just and there's 14 responses. Excellent. So do you, and this is the one that you would like to make a copy of, 21, 22, you want to make a 22, 23?
Well, I actually need a 23, 24. This is just the first one I saw. So we'll just try to
Play with
let's
this
just try
one.
this. Mhm.
Go 3 dots right next to your little bubble icon. Yeah. Make a copy.
Oh,
Okay.
just like everything else.
Just like everything else. Okay.
But I'll just want to rename it here, right? Probably.
Right. Rename it and new dates.
Maybe it was 20. I don't know how it was. Okay. All right. Make a copy. So there it is.
Okay. So go, and if you questions, responses.
So that shouldn't be, yeah, okay. And this is where I would just
Okay.
set up my new sheet right there.
You know what? This reminds me, I think we did have a conversation about this, you guys. Because I don't see the quiz.
Quiz would be under settings.
Oh, settings. Sorry. I was looking under responses. I started to panic. So go under settings. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay, we're good. Quiz.
So it is the same, huh?
Yeah.
Appears to be, okay.
And when I opened up a 2019 Google form, I got the ability to bold, italicize, underline my questions and headings. So yes, it does transfer the new features to 2019 Google Forms.
Okay. Perfect. Okay.
The other thing, well, never mind. Can you go back to that form since you're cruising?
Mhm.
Go back to the 21-22 form real quick and the responses. Or I
Okay.
can't see those.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Yeah.
Why, so when I did this, why is it in edit mode? And how do I get out of edit mode?
Okay, so right now you're in edit mode because you're building this is the new form copy. So you would have to, you have to either go to the preview, see where the little icon is, where the eye is. That will give you what your end users are going to be looking at when they see the form. But you're the owner of this form, and
Got it. Okay.
does that make sense?
Yes,
And
ma'am.
then, do you remember what Lisa said about the pre-link fill? What did you say? What is it called?
Pre-filled link.
Pre-filled link.
No, I wasn't paying attention. I was looking for my form. I'm sorry.
So let's do that again. This is good practice. So
So I'm
to
going to go
get
to,
that, go to your three. So you can either preview it like we just did, or go to your three dots. Perfect. And get pre-filled link. That's a really safe link for your form to send out to your end users. Does that make sense? Or your participants?
got it. Really, I'm the only one that uses this. So, okay. Okay.
Might have to like, I was noticing earlier that like some forms are only to your organization. So I can't remember, it was under settings somewhere. I think you can mark whether you want people outside of your organization to be able to fill it out or just people within your organization. Because I guess that's like a protection if it gets forwarded to other people and you don't really want it to get forwarded. But
Mhm.
I noticed that with some of them.
And that's a great example.
To fill it out unless you're within the organization. And I guess they go by email addresses or whatever, since it's all Google.
Domain. Yeah. Yeah. That's totally correct. Thank you.
So you
And-
want to go back to the 21, 22 and do something, April?
Well, I just wanted to share, there's one more thing that I kind of learned about. I don't know if y'all know this, but yeah, go back there and just go responses and maybe pull up a pie chart. If you go to the responses in 14, right in the middle. Okay, I wonder if gives me a little, are there any more pie chart? No, just, so do you see where it says copy right there? So just FYI, ladies, because sometimes when we're working with data, and that's not a very great pie chart because it's 100%. But if there's a variety, it's going to give you like little slivers of different things and things that you're working on, data that you're collecting. You can quickly copy this image and put it anywhere. You can put it in another presentation. You can put it on a flyer. You can, so just know that that feature's there. You can put it on your students. You know, if you're communicating with them, you can copy and paste that image for them to view if you needed that sort of, example. So just, I know it's not a big deal. It's kind of like we went over what are the new features of 2022 or 2023? And it's basically just kind of adding those word or different ways of really making your form more personalized. And so that was just one other thing that I found. I don't know if y'all use it, but it's there. Okay.
But this does seem to answer the question that an older form is going to give you this stuff if it didn't before. Right.
Yes.
Okay.
The only place that I think I've run into that is on a Google site, and it was teacher mentorship when we were doing that teacher academy or teacher cadet. we had, I had to copy spring and fall semesters. And at one time they had an update of some sort and it didn't translate over, but that was the only time that has ever happened to me
Okay,
specifically.
well, thank you. I'm sorry to take so much time with.
No, that was good. I loved it. I love questions. So, all right, guys, it is 12:30. I don't want to hold you up anymore. I'm going to go ahead and stop today's recording. Stop today's recording. And